What is up, RGL family? Coming back with a pickups video. Not a lot, but something very surprising, we'll just say. I found at a Goodwill. So first we'll kick it off. I got my latest Retrobit release, Shockman Zero, limited edition cartridge. So I guess this was originally released for Super Famicom, and right, or was it PAL? I think Super Famicom. I think it was released in Japan, never came over to the US. They've translated and now have released the copy for the US. As always, excellent quality from our friends at whoops, let's not hold it upside down. At Retrobit. Comes in a plastic cartridge holder that is taped. That is why I cannot open it. All right. I always get two copies of the well, I shouldn't say that. I sometimes get two copies of the Retrobit. In this case, I did because they just make such a nice product, I feel like. So I have one to open and then one I keep nice and sealed. For what? I don't know, but that's what I do. You do what you want to do. That's the method to my madness. All right. So once we're inside there, I think this is a run and gun, if I remember correctly. Let's see from the screenshots, right? I don't know how well it's going to show up. Not very well. Yeah. Pretty sure it's a running gun, run and slash. Dr. Koduguchi's newly invented engine has been stolen by the evil BB Don group. They have begun to invade the city using their cyber henchmen under the orders of their leader, the mad scientist Dr. Shankun. It's up to the Shibi Binmen to stand up to them, the powerful duo Reita and Azuki. In this action title, you'll go through 8 stages filled with unique enemies and big boss fights. Available officially in English for the first time. This game is easy to play but challenging to master. Grab a friend to enjoy the 2-player mode. Oh, that's cool. So there's a couch co-op as well. All right, so let's get this open. So they have like their magnetic, closing. I mean, it's just great packaging. And then usually they'll do this sort of like acrylic cover. Got a cool like foil sticker back here. The artwork, it's really nice. And then this one comes with a really cool translucent cartridge. So, and a really nice label. And then these are like metallic. So yeah, I mean, it's just quality is top notch. And you get a giant, maybe not giant, but you get a nice big full color, really top quality manual. And there's your characters, I guess you can play as. Screenshots and items from the game. Yeah, I mean, it's just the 8 stages, top notch. Notes, I love that they do that. And some nice artwork in the back as well. You have your bottom of the box. I mean, everything, it's just all the care. They have artwork in the bottom there, where one of the characters making a nice hot cup of tea. You can just tell a lot of care and love is put into these releases. So If you don't support any of the other, limited run or whatever, and want to just save your money for the Retrobit releases, which, I mean, I think sometimes go out through limited run, but I've said this before, Castlemania Games, which is now technically Rondo products, but is also still Castlemania Games. They most of the time, or all of the time, have the Retrobit releases as well, and that's where I've started ordering them from. But yeah, I mean, it's just their products are always, AAA, super nice quality. So yeah, so that's Shockman Zero. The next one I have, which I mentioned in a video recently, and it's so funny, I mentioned it in a video and then it came in. This is from Broke Studio, so I don't know if this is a good graces kind of thing or just coincidental. I think it was just coincidence. Like I've said, I've always had a good experience with Broke Studio. So yeah, so this is the steak, and again, I got 2 of these because I have a problem mostly. And I can get it open. Again, this is for the Nintendo, the original Nintendo. And from the videos that I've seen by like John Hancock, John Riggs, really well done. Good music, good graphics, and it's just cool to have shooters for the original Nintendo, because I mean, I think I actually ended up being like a good mix, but it's a real easy kind of like pick up and play genre, so I think having more of them is not necessarily a bad thing, right? So yeah. So this is going to be a steak, if I can get the box open without jacking things too bad here. And I just got, I wouldn't call it part of like my pickups, although I guess it kind of technically is. I just got a bunch of stuff that I ordered off of AliExpress because I have a Retron 5, and I'll use that to like do my test my carts, and then also it has the you can play Game Boy Advanced. So if I want to stream Game Boy Advance cartridges, Game Boy Color, I have to use the Retron 5. But one of the problems it had when it came out was the death grip on the cartridge slots, and I'm not always a super patient person, and I've kind of jacked up a couple of the slots, the pins in there, and it's so funny, I ended up like finding a video with this I think like a British guy, and he showed, which I've I don't know, I think it's hit or miss, but it did seem like if you pulled up the cartridge from the corner, so if you just like grabbed this instead of grabbing it in the middle, which is like your instinct would be to take the cart from the middle, pull up, and actually just pull it from one side, then he's like, oh look, it came right out. And a lot of times when I couldn't get the cart out, I would do that and the cartridge would come out. But because I've impatiently tried pulling the card out a few too many times, a couple of slots the pins were jacked up, so I'm like, oh man, is this junk? Because it wasn't cheap when I got it, because I got it at full price, and even used now they're still not cheap. But AliExpress actually had the, I don't know if you call it like sockets or whatever, but what would that be? That would be the female end, right, of the cartridge connector. And so I ordered those, and I'm hoping I can replace the ones that I messed up, and then test the corner pulling technique, and be in good shape and not risk damaging any cartridges that I use with it, because the pins are jacked up and doing stuff they're not supposed to do. So this is, I know I've showed on videos before, this is my magical box opening tool, because it's the exact width of a NES box top, and it's very thin as well. So what it lets you do is easily slide underneath, and then you can just kind of wiggle, 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 and it lets you pop the top without, or typically without damaging the box, and without getting that bend in the middle there. So that's my little trick. Although what happens sometimes is, see, this part gets caught. So you have to be careful, because that can tear, because it's already kind of like, it's kind of cut, right? Which I don't know why they do it that way. You would think there's really got to be a better design for it. I don't know. And that's giving me trouble. Trying to do it without ripping it. It's like there's I'm like hitting something. I don't know what it is though. Oh, there we go. Come on. Don't rip. This is definitely gonna rip. There we go. Now it's not. There we go. Boom! Safe has been cracked. So, Cat Hui, I've never heard of them. But, I mean, this definitely does seem like quality, so I don't know. Maybe they'll come out with more releases. So we got the game. And nice label. Got your standard NES card, although it looks like a little bit, I don't know, it looks a little bit darker, right? I don't know if you'll be able to tell from my camera. Maybe it's just because it's nighttime. But it seems like the gray of the cartridge is a little bit darker, but the label's really nice. You get a little dust sleeve there. It's got your little foam block, the all-important foam block. And then nice manual. Yeah, nice color manual. Look at that. And somebody's cat. Oh, that must be Mr. Cat Hui, right? That's the programmer. So it's got the story, your characters, how to play, how to operate. That looks nothing like a Nintendo controller. Super weapon, items, master the robot form. First city is Hong Kong. High score technique. Kill enemies with a super weapon will earn you bonus points, so don't be shy. Cat Hui will appear every 80,000 points. The higher the score, the more you get. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so that's it. So that's a Steak. Very excited to have this, or have a new Nintendo Shmup. Yeah, I think it's so cool getting brand new Nintendo games all these years later. Didn't get to get a lot as a kid. I mean, I had a decent amount of games, I think. I don't know. Probably like, if I had to guess, maybe like 20 games. Because you basically got them for your birthday and for Christmas, right? So, a couple games a year, 10 years, 20 games. It's probably around about what it was. And then I sold it all for a song, basically. I forget, why did I sell it? I think I just sold it. I either just sold it for the cash, or I sold it to buy Game Boy game, maybe, or something. I'm trying to remember. Why I sold all my Nintendo stuff. It's a shame because I had the Game Boy. I remember I had one of the Final Fantasy games, like maybe Final Fantasy Legend. I think it was the green one. For the original Game Boy. I had Final Fantasy. It'd be so cool to have my original Final Fantasy. I had Nintendo Power. I wish I had those still because I never took the posters out. So they would have had all the posters in it. I had the strategy guide for Final Fantasy. I think Dragon Warrior. Obviously Mario because that came with it. I had the action set that came with the combo Mario Duck Hunt cart. I don't remember if I had the orange zapper though or the gray one. But yeah, man, played so much Final Fantasy. All right, so that's a Steak. And I think I want to say it's still for sale. I could be wrong. All right, so now the biggest score. Maybe in my Goodwill history because I had to kill some time, and I was picking my son up from work, so I'm like, let me just go in. The Goodwills by me, they never have anything. I live in where I live, it's all like small towns, and there's never anything good in terms of gaming or even electronics. So I went in and I go back to like the puzzles and the games, and I see a couple boxes and I'm like, oh my goodness, is that what I think it is? So there were two, and again, it's funny because I had just watched an interview with the guy who started this company. So there were two MicroProse big box PC games, Red Storm Rising and Silent Service 2. Look, they're so big they don't even fit. And the box is in overall pretty good shape. Considering their age. They're both the IBM PC XT compatible format. This one, the Silent Service box, this corner got torn, so I'll probably glue that. But yeah, I couldn't believe it, so I grabbed them. And so what is this? This is I used to have a Tandy 1000, IBM PXC, XT, AT, PS2, Tandy 1000, 3000, and most compatibles. But yeah, $5.99. Were they both $5.99? Yeah. And 1990. Is this also 1990? Trademark is 87 for MicroProse. But in any case, yeah. So I just thought that was super cool. And I was so excited. I was talking to a friend of mine. I didn't actually open the boxes, so unfortunately, Silent Service has most of the disc. It's missing disc C, so there's A, B, C, D. It's missing disc C, but it has everything else. So, it's got the manual, and look at, this thing it's beefy. It's a big old manual. I never played this. I wasn't into like the war simulation games. Mech Warrior, Doom. That's probably what I spent most of my time playing. But like Mech Warrior Mercenaries, Mech Warrior 2, Doom. A lot of time with Doom because my friend and I, we would hook our computers up using a no modem cable. So the manual's in there. This Best of Times sort of advertising insert. It's got whatever this is, a warranty, another sort of like registration card, all your like controls, cheat sheet for that. The keyboard overlay in pretty good shape. It's got like a little stain there, otherwise in really good shape. The map, you know, like no tear. It's like everything is in really good shape. So it just sucks. I'm assuming that disc was probably in whatever computer was being used for this. I don't know. I meant to go back the next day to see if anything else got put back, but I forgot. And I haven't been back there since I found these things. This foil sticker. You could get like medals, so that was in there. I think that's everything. Yeah, there's nothing under that. And this is just part of the keyboard punch out thing. So yeah, so I looked on eBay. I was like, oh, maybe I can pick up like just the discs or like a kind of beat up copy that had all the discs for real cheap, but it's gonna cost me like 4 or 5 times the amount to buy it, and I'd be getting everything all over again, and I don't need everything. I just need that one disc. So I'll probably just end up seeing if I can find an image of it online and burning my own or creating my own replacement for that. And then for Red Storm Rising, unfortunately there were no discs. So I'm gonna order some 5 1/4 double density discs to make a copy. But this had the keyboard overlay as well, and this one has 2 because it has one for the Tandy, which is this one here. So it's got the one for the Tandy, and then it's got the one for your IBM 101 keyboard, PS2 keyboard, which apparently is the one the guy had. This one is not as in good a shape as the Silent Service. I guess it was very well loved. Little tape here. But still, you know, it's in one piece and it's all there. And then the manual, again, like a big beefy manual, which both manuals in really good shape. Like no like water damage or like tears or any, you know, crazy thing like that. And then this one also had a map. So, oh no, that's, well, I guess it is a map, but it's very small. The technical supplement. So this tells you the required equipment. Got to have at least 384K RAM and DOS 2X or 3X. When using the DOS version, when using higher versions of DOS, more RAM may be necessary. So yeah, so that's cool. And then you can request a backup of, oh, this is to get a backup copy of the software. Please return the created original form. Program is not coming out, and $10. So you could get another, I guess, like copy of the disc for $10 if you wanted. So yeah, no registration form in this one, but that's okay. Is there anything underneath here? Oh, it'd be so funny if the discs were underneath this little insert thing. No, they're not. Okay. Can't remember if I checked that originally. So yeah, so that is it for this pickups video. Again, like, I mean, to me, I thought it was so cool to actually find an old big box game in a Goodwill. I don't know. I mean, maybe where you live, that's commonplace, but for me, in all my years of Goodwill hunting, I've never come across any big box games in the store. And I mean, nowadays, I don't even see like sports games anymore in the stores. Like, there's never anything. So yeah, so that's it. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Have a good night.